What's going on, guys? Styx here with the Token Minorities, bringing you the team builder for week 3 of season 6 of the CPC. And this week we are up against JackO and his Sootopolis Swamperts. And before I get into the team, just a reminder that if you guys like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton. And let's do more cool stuff for you guys. And also, if you are new to the channel, here at TTM, we are a collaborative channel, so there's not just draft format content from myself, which is why you're on this video. There's also draft format content from Crobat for the win and Jolt, and we also have TCG content and then occasional other content whenever Maddie feels like it. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that, please feel free to subscribe. And also, we have a link to the TTM Discord where there are channels for all of our Draft League teams, as well as Smogon and TCG, so please feel free to check that out as well. Also, you might notice up in the top right corner of the screen that I have a new logo on this team builder. Let me just bring that up really quickly. Want to give gigantic shoutouts to quote-unquote my best friend DJ for making this logo for me. I'm still going to be more often than not sticking with the one that I already have, but this logo is actually really sick. And so I'm going to kind of be rotating it around here and there, just using it in different team builders, different games, just all the different stuff, all the different videos that I make for the draft format. We'll be rotating this also with another logo, which will be brought up on Wednesday. Shoutouts to Dallas in advance. But yeah, for the time being, this is a logo that will be making appearances on the channel. So big shoutouts to my best friend DJ for making that logo for me. So yeah, with all that being said, let's just go ahead and hop right into the team. Like I said, we are up against Jack and his Sootopolis Swamperts, which is composed of Mega Diancie, Tornadus T, Slowbro, Gliscor, Roserade, Como-O, Alolan Persian, Sylveon, Steelix, Luxray, Delphox, and Coughing. Yes, you heard that right, Coughing. Now, really looking at his team, it's honestly one of the more annoying teams that I've gone up against this season. Not because it's like super ridiculous threats that I have to prepare for. It's actually kind of the opposite. It's more that he has 11 Mons that could legitimately come. Like, I could make an argument for each of his first 11 Mons coming. I'm not going to make an argument for Coughing. That thing would actually be, in all honesty, pretty bad against me, especially considering the things that it would be able to take on are already handled by other Mons on his team. So yeah, Coughing, you're not a thing. But his other 11 Mons are all Mons that could realistically come, and so it's just kind of difficult to try to prepare for all 11 Mons and have ways of dealing with them. But that being said, I mean, he still has gigantic threats in Mega Diancie and Tornadus, just because, I mean, Mega Diancie is something that if you don't prepare for it well, you are going to get absolutely swept. And then Tornadus with its speed tier, luckily I have Mons that either tie it or can outspeed it, so I'm not as hurt by Tornadus as I could be, but its coverage is great for my team. It has a Supersonic Sky Strike, which I don't have the best flying resists. In fact, I kind of don't have one apart from Tapu Koko and Alolan Raichu, but neither of those take flying attacks very well. So this is going to be an interesting game. I mean, like I said, he doesn't have like any threats where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to lose him on to this Pokemon every single time it comes in. I really don't feel like that, but at the same time, Mega Diancie and Torn are still gigantic threats, and then just figuring out what team I can build around the rest of his team to where I can handle every single thing that he could possibly bring is going to be somewhat difficult. But that being said, I'm very happy with the team that we have right here, and so I guess I'll just go ahead and jump right into it. First thing we have is a 4 attacks Shukaberry Koko with Volt Switch, Dazzling Gleam, Brave Bird, and Hidden Power Ice. This Koko does very well against him if he doesn't bring a ground type, which he definitely should, and he should bring a specially defensive ground type like Gliscor and Steelix. Both of them have pretty solid matchups against my team and are pretty easy brings. So yeah, Tapu Koko, if he brings Steelix, then it is very, very hindered. But if he only brings Gliscor against me, then this set actually puts in a very good amount of work. Because, I mean, Volt Switch is just able to freely get me momentum. It's able to hit things like Tornadus, Slowbro, Mega Diancie, and then anything that's not immune or resisted very hard. Dazzling Gleam allows me to take out the Kommo-o and Alolan Persian, both of whom could be pretty annoying to deal with. Brave Bird takes out the Roserade because a Spidef Roserade could actually take on my Koko pretty well, because it can resist my dual stab, and then also a hidden power ice. Even though Koko hits pretty hard, 95 base special attack is not enough to really pressure a Roserade, especially defensive one at that. So Brave Bird allows me to just be like, okay, Roserade's in, Roserade's annoying, let's just take it out with a Brave Bird, and then hidden power ice for the mainly the Gliscor, but also, I guess, to hit Steelix for a little bit of damage. I mean, this this Tapu Koko, I really have to be careful with if he has Steelix, because, in all honesty, it just gives Steelix a free switch-in if Steelix is Spidef, or actually just regular Steelix in general. I mean, if it doesn't have Spidef, then HP Ices, along with other attacks from my team, can eventually wear it down, but still, Koko at this point is a free switch into Steelix, so I have to be careful around that. But what this set is designed to do is really just eliminate his ground types. Like Gliscor, I would trade my Shuka Berry. I'll trade about like 40-50% depending on the investment of Gliscor for taking it out with HP Ice, because HP Ice, even on a specially defensive Gliscor, is a 2-hit KO from Tapu Koko. So with the Shuka Berry, what that allows me to do is, if for some reason he doesn't bring Steelix, I can just start Volt Switching freely, knowing that as soon as he goes into Gliscor, I can 2-hit KO that thing with HP Ice, while it cannot 1-hit KO me back with Earthquake. So that's really just what it allows me to do. And then once the Gliscor is gone, I can freely spam Volt Switch, as once I'm able to freely spam Volt Switch, I'm just going to start wearing down his team like crazy and taking advantage of those situations. I think, honestly, once I'm able to start getting Volt Switch momentum with my Tapu Koko, then I will be in a position to win the game at that point. So that's really what the whole game plan is. Get rid of his ground types so that once I start Volt Switching with Tapu Koko, I can abuse whatever switch-in he decides to go into. Next up, we have the Ferrothorn. Actually, hold on. One more thing. Forgot to mention the EVs. I mean, they're pretty straightforward. The speed is just to outspeed Tornadus, and then maxed out my special attack to hit as hard as possible, and then just threw the rest into attack. I really didn't need EVs in like HP or any of the defenses this game, just because he doesn't really have any priority, and I'm going to be faster than all of his stuff, barring anything scarfed anyway. So just being able to hit Roserade a little bit harder with Brave Bird was what I decided to go for. Now we can go over to the Melvin the Ferrothorn with Gyro Ball, Stealth Rock, Knockoff, Leech Seed, and Occaberry, and quite frankly, everything on his team can easily carry fire coverage. I mean, except for like a Alolan Persian, but I mean, that still can taunt me and just be a nuisance in general. So I need the Occaberry. Mainly what this Ferrothorn is kind of okay, Diancie is not going to be able to set up on me early. It's a one-time Diancie check. With the Occaberry, I can take a Hidden Power Fire, and then I can knock it out with Gyro Ball. So basically, it's just kind of an early game, okay, where do I want to burn my Occaberry to either get a Gyro Ball or a Leech Seed or a Knockoff off, or even Stealth Rock just to set those things up. And really, like, I'm not anticipating Ferrothorn doing a whole lot or being a great wall in this game. I'm not anticipating it just being like, okay, you can't touch me. On the contrary, I'm kind of anticipating Ferrothorn going down relatively quickly, but it's a good pivot. It's a good deterrence of Diancie setting up early. It's nice for spamming Leech Seed if I decide that that's what I want to do, maybe taking advantage of a choice locked something. Getting up Stealth Rock is especially nice, as he doesn't really have, I mean, Kommo and Steelix are both his Stealth Rock resists, so just that residual damage on the rest of his mons would be very, very nice. And then also, like I said, if I need it, I can just go in on a Diancie and then Gyro Ball if it tries to set up and sweep me early on. So that's really just the whole point with Ferrothorn, is just switch into on Diancie early, force it out with potential Gyro Ball after living at a Hidden Power of Fire, and then get up rocks and just be a general annoyance to his team. Now, the EV spread is very, very straightforward. It's just max HP, max SPDF. Really did not have a reason to run defense on this Ferrothorn. I mean, looking at his team, like, could run defense for Gliscor, maybe. I mean, Como just runs Flamethrower and cooks me alive. Steelix, yeah, Fire Fang can be annoying, but I have things to deal with Steelix otherwise. So really did not have a whole lot of reason to run defense in this game, so I just decided that max HP, max SPDF to take non-fire hits from like Diancie, Tornadus, just let me be a little bit better of a pivot in this game and more likely to still live like a Heat Wave or Hidden Power Fire when I get chipped down. So just very, very straightforward Ferrothorn set in this case. Next up, we have a specially defensive 3 attacks Necrozma, and this thing is another answer to Mega Diancie. I know I said that he doesn't have anything on his team that's like a huge threat. Well, in all honesty, Mega Diancie really is, but I have a lot of things that I can use to check it. So it's not like a Kyurem Black level threat, but Mega Diancie is still a gigantic threat that you need to have a pretty good amount dedicated towards, because it can easily run physical, it can easily run special, it can run mixed, like you can run setup, it can just run like 4 attacks fast. So there's really a lot that you need to take into account when prepping for Diancie. And with the mixed defenses that it does have, Necrozma is actually very good at being able to take on a Mega Diancie if it is mixed or one way or the other. That's just kind of what I am geared towards right here. So lefties, just because, man, I really don't need to run any other item. I was considering Iapapa Berry, but I thought that Necrozma early on would be coming in, like the lefties would be able to just get me out of range of more things. And basically what this Necrozma is all about is keeping Diancie from getting like 2 setups on me, because Diancie, if it either goes for a Calm Mind or a Rock Polish, I have things to deal with it. If it gets both, then I'm in trouble. So this Necrozma is kind of a, okay, you get one, choose it wisely, and let's just kind of hope that we can deal with it from there. So that's kind of the whole thing with this Necrozma right here. Earthquake for Diancie, well, Earthquake HPIs, Moonlight, and Knockoff. Earthquake over Earth Power, just because Diancie, if I switch in on a Moonblast and I get the special attack drop, then Diancie can actually set up on me if I am Earth Power. So that's why I decided to go for that. And you might be thinking, okay, well, why aren't you running Iron Head if you're really that worried about Diancie? Well, I also want Necrozma to be able to chip down Steelix, which is a big problem and is one of the things that I want to remove ASAP in order for my Tapu Koko to be able to take it on, or to take on his team and put me in a position to win the game. So yeah, just Earthquake covered both Mega Diancie and Steelix, and it's an easy 2-hit KO on even invested Diancie. So that's ultimately what I decided to go for with attack right there. HP Ice is for Gliscor, as Subtoxic Taunt Gliscor was an absolute menace versus my team. So I really wanted a good way of dealing with that. Actually, I don't know why I have... Let's go ahead and change these. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and change those to the proper... Let's just make sure they're not on my Tapu Koko either. Glad I checked this before I went into the battle. But regardless, we do have my Necrozma with HP Ice because, like I said, Sub-Taunt Gliscor is a huge threat against me. And basically, what HP Ice on this Necrozma does is only allows Gliscor to come in and get up a sub versus my Ferrothorn. Everything else on my team either breaks the sub guaranteed and also pressures the Necrozma, or pressures the Gliscor to where it can't just set up subs all the time against me. So that's what HP Ice is for right there. Moonlight is just to get recovery, just be able to be like, okay, I'm in. He's probably going to switch out. My Necrozma's kind of low, want to get a little more HP, so just recover up there. And then Knockoff is just good for spamming early game, get rid of items, potentially get rid of a Toxic Orb if he tries to be cheeky and bring Gliscor in on me. Just scouting out sets, knocking off items, etc., etc. And then the EV spread. This is enough to guaranteed avoid the 2-hit KO from like Jolly Max Attack Diamond Storm from Diancie after Rocks, I believe. And then the Spadef is enough. Actually, it might not be after Rocks, but I think it is. And then the Spadef is for very, very high chance to live Modest Moonblast, or avoid the 2-hit KO from Modest Moonblast after Rocks. So that's really what that's for, just be able to cover whatever Diancie spread there is, Moonlight up, or weaken it down with Earthquake, as Earthquake damage is needed for like Tapu Koko and Raichu to be able to revenge kill it. Next up, we have something that I want to give a gigantic shout outs to my front office for this one. Swampert, this sub attacking Swampert is actually pretty awesome in this matchup. He has a lot of things that I can set up a sub versus. Well, mainly like his Steelix or his passive mons, I can get up a nice sub versus maybe his Mega Diancie as he switches into something to try to take it on. And once I get up a sub with Swampert, my dual stab does work against his team. Just being able to spam Waterfall and Earthquake hit his team insanely hard. I mean, even stuff that is not hit for weakness is still hit very, very, very hard by it. So that's what I love about this. And then also what a sub does give me is the chance to toxic things like Slowbro or Tornadus that might come in, might be able to like take the hits and try to beat me 1v1. That allows me to be like, okay, yeah, you're going to be able to take my Waterfalls or my Earthquakes, but you are also going to be on a timer now. So this is a really, really cool set that I want to give big shout outs to the front office for coming up with and then helping me design for the optimum matchup in this case. Now, like I said, just sub, dual stab, and then toxic covers all I need to against his team. The EVs, okay, so first of all, I started off with just like max HP and then max attack, just kind of standard, and then figured out that, okay, I kind of want to be able to set up against Slowbro, as Slowbro will more than likely just run like, it'll run fire coverage, it'll run water coverage, and then we think it'll run something like, I mean, it could probably run like psychic coverage to hit Buzzwole hard, or we just don't think it'd be running, actually it would be running psychic coverage to try to maybe tank a hit from Gengar, or even ice coverage for the Salamence. So like fire, water, ice, or fire, water, psychic, that type of thing covers everything that it really needs to against my team. So basically we don't think it would have room for grass coverage, meaning that Swampert would be able to set up a sub on it, and then we maximize the EVs such that I would still have the maximum attack available to me, but also still be able to sub up on a defensive Slowbro and have Scald guaranteed not break my sub. So that's what these EVs are for, just max special defense and then summon HP, like I said, to be able to set up a sub on Slowbro and not have it broken by defensive Scald, and then through the rest into attack with 12 into speed for some speed creeps. Next up we have Mega Pidgeot with Hurricane, HP Steel, Roost, and Workup, because against his entire team, nothing really resists flying except for Steelix and Mega Diancie, because otherwise Hurricane is just super easily spammed and just honestly does a whole lot of work against him. And then HP Steel covers the Mega Diancie. The reason I'm not going for Heat Wave on this set is because, first of all, Steelix gets hit hard enough by Hurricane anyway and has the chance for confusion, and then I have plenty of pivots into Mega Steelix, yada yada yada. But also because, I mean, Steelix, like I said, will not be wanting to come in because of the threat of Heat Wave. So I really don't need the threat, or I really don't need Mega Pidgeot to hit Steelix, as like I said, not coming in, plenty of pivots, and with Workup, I can set up on something like Gliscor or Slowbro. I can just set up a nice, easy Workup, and then smack his team very, very hard with +1 Hurricanes, as even then, +1 Hurricanes will more than likely, I don't know if it'll quite 2-hit KO Steelix, but it'll do a ton of work to where I can wear that thing down very, very easily, and there's also the confusion chance. So Workup Mega Pidge is a nice mid-game breaker, and with its speed, it's able to actually speed tie Torn T, which is something kind of funny. I never really thought about speed tying Tornadus T just because it's such an odd speed tier of 121, but then again, same with Mega Pidge, so it's just kind of funny when prepping for this matchup. I saw that. HP Steel, obviously, for the Diancie, as it's one thing that can come in and potentially stop my Hurricane spamming. HP Steel is just a quick way to be like, okay, Mega Diancie is now gone. The EV spread, fairly simple, just speed, special attack, and then threw the rest into HP, but the speed is for a Tornadus trying to speed creep my Mega Pidgeot, speed creeping his Alolan Persian. So that's what that is for, trying to speed creep his aggression. I'm not just going to go max speed. I'm going to be like, okay, if he's going to try to speed creep me, he's going to try to speed creep me on that. So I'm going to try to speed creep him, speed creeping me. Just the general speed creep mind games that go on with the draft format is what I'm going for, and then just max special attack, and then the rest into HP. Finally, we have, for the first time this season, Alolan Raichu. Just 4 attacks, Life Orb, hits his team insanely hard. I wanted to bring a Z move, but felt like I really couldn't afford to in this matchup, as I did want the extra power that Life Orb provided in this matchup, and so that's ultimately what I decided to go for. Thunderbolt, Psychic, HP Ice, and Surf cover his entire team, and you might be thinking that Surf and HP Ice is a little bit redundant, but the damage calc on Gliscor is significant enough to where I do want to run both, and then Surf is just a nice way of taking out Steelix if he tries to rely on that to take out my Alolan Raichu and just be a nice Spidef wall. So yeah, pretty straightforward on the attacks on my Alolan Raichu. The EVs, just max special attack, modest, because I can afford to run that. The speed is to speed creep Diancie, speed creeping my Raichu, trying to speed creep max speed Como. So once again, another speed creep mind games going on right here. I could just go max in order to try to tie Diancie at the very least and force the game into a coin flip, but I don't know. Modest is way too... I lose too much by not going modest on my Alolan Raichu to where I think I can afford not running Timid or not speed tying Diancie, and then I want a little bit of extra HP here and there just so I can maybe take a resisted hit from something on his team. But either way, just max special attack in order to hit as hard as possible. The speed creep, like I said, is a speed creep for Diancie and Como, as Como is the only thing besides his Diancie that could very easily get to +2 with the Totemize, so that's one thing I want to outspeed. And then the HP, I wanted to hit a Life Orb number, so I'd only take 27 instead of 28, and then 12 defense just to be able to live hits. Just because I had him left over and threw him into defense. But anyway, yeah, that's the team. Hope you guys will join me on Wednesday for the battle, but for the time being, this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.